environmentalist, human rights advocate, LGBTQ, champion, proud two spirit, Indigenous person here. I decided to try to do a sing along again. I have a massive headache from that concussion I sustained when a Latino thug assaulted me here in this East LA area, but I'm going to try and do some songs. I'm trying not to just come off as this angry person, but wouldn't you be angry? I mean, wouldn't you resent a community that allowed you to be attacked? Wouldn't you resent a country that wouldn't give you your benefits so you could afford a house and therefore wouldn't be out in a ghetto so you could be attacked? Because that's how I feel right now. I feel like the American government has done everything to harass me over decades, but really they sexually abused me. They have kept me homeless because I wasn't receiving my benefits and I am unable to work. They have allowed two hate crimes in a span of a year because I'm still stuck living in a ghetto that I shouldn't be living in. I am a person of the LGBTQIA. I'm two spirit. I shouldn't have to live in a neighborhood like this. I really shouldn't. And as proud as I am to have gone to that powwow today, that's not all of it. That's just a bunch of people. I'll just be honest, that's a bunch of people who felt that way for a little bit. Because the vast majority of them, they don't understand what that's like. They don't understand what it's like to live in modern day America and say, no, I'd rather go back to grass skirts. I think there's something to that. I'd rather go back to making your own medicine and singing and chanting and dancing instead of turning to pills that some doctor shoves at you. I'd rather go back to spending the day outside because number one, you're either hunting or gathering, but mostly you're enjoying life and nature and you're not this person who is stuck inside all day. I have PTSD, but I don't want to stay inside all day. I want to live in a town where I can go outside without having to hear someone call me a faggot and then punch me or kick me. I don't know why LA would do this. And I don't know why LA has this thing of we're just going to keep assaulting you. We're just going to keep harassing you. I spoke at length in the last podcast about this crazy woman who would not stop trying to talk to me. And then she kept lunging toward me. And I can't just diffuse the situation. I have to say this person is mentally ill and they're having an issue right now. The police should be involved. And I don't know. I'm trying so hard, you guys. I'm trying. And hello, little gamer dude. Hello, Chase. Hello, AEA. Hello, Matthew. Hello, Turtle Master. Okay, you gotta go. Sorry, you gotta go. Bye-bye. Just, yeah, just report. Just report. Yeah, just report. I understand the need to use that language. I truly do, because, I've had to deal with people in my life and I can understand it's very convenient to turn to hate against a minority group after a few bad things happen to you. But you have to keep in mind that that's not everyone. I have to say that that's not everyone. So I'm going to report every last one of those and say that in my chat, if you're talking about a specific hate crime incident or something like that, then you want to speak your mind on it. I understand it, but I don't agree with using derogatory language against a whole community. If you want to talk about problems within that community, let's talk about it. I'm always for that. I'm actually new to the whole podcasting thing, so all I can really do is just report. All right. I'm just gonna have to. I've had it for 4 decades, so it hasn't gone away. But thank you, though. Wow. The level of hate. You know, the fact that hate is coming to my chat now only mean that I'm actually a decent musician. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to learn your fucking American language. I haven't learned it in 4 decades. I'm not going to learn it. I don't see a point. Because when you think that way, you cut yourself off from learning other languages. And I really believe that you need to be a bit more world minded. You need to be a bit more broad minded when it comes to these things. Okay, so let's do that then. All right, bye bye now. And same to you. Bye bye now. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Cindy. That's very nice of you. Yeah, some people just want to be rude, and you just have to tell them to. Thank you, Sherry. Most of my mates growing up were European or Australian or New Zealander. I'm not going to apologize for the fact that I travel. I'm not going to apologize for the fact that when I had to grow up, I grew up in a situation that made me say I would rather explore the rest of the world than just deal with what is here. So, yeah. Despite all of that, I'm gonna sing How Far I'll Go because I've always identified with this character because I feel that way about living in America. I feel that way about our space program. I feel as if we could do so much more if we just left. I mean, a lot of environmentalists are saying, save the earth, save the earth. I want to save the earth too. The only way to really save the earth is you tell people, go somewhere else. And thank you, Savage. I appreciate you. And thank you, Sherry, and everyone in the chat who remained, who are kind, decent people. I don't mind the haters. I mean, I can't be mad at them for feeling that way. I just wish they had a better way to express that. I usually express myself through music, but like I said, I have a concussion, so I just don't feel up to making music. I feel like performing music, but I tried that yesterday to just turn around and then not perform at all because I have PTSD and trying to be in a room with people would have been too much for me. Do you like that song? Oh my god, do you like that song? Serial, that song is so fire. Because I don't know about you, but I grew up on fucking Major Lazer, which is Diplo and his fellow producers, and Bubblebutt. If you listen to Bubblebutt, you know that I'm trying to do a spiritual successor to that song. I'm not trying to like copy it, but I'm trying to like give that West Indie vibe, that dancehall vibe with that song Sloppy Dick Sucking Contest. Let's have a sloppy dick sucking contest. That song is such It's such fire, and it shows off my turntable skills because I really had to like scratch it and like really get that triple beat, which like really makes you want to dirty wine. So I love it. I absolutely love it. And also, it's I guess the story behind it is okay. I was having a bad day, and I went outside, saw someone who I was interested in, and I have no shame. I just said, "Do you want to enjoy some time together?" And that's all it took. And from that, we had a sloppy dick sucking contest. I mean, everybody is talking about, oh, I have to use lines or only when I have the right beer, or some people do it on pills. I don't recommend that though. But everyone is talking about how they pick up, the person that they're interested in. I'm just a very honest person. If I want to talk to someone and I'm in a sexy mood, I just say, do you want to? And if they say yes, well, guess what? If we both agreed and we're consenting adults, we're gonna do that. And I like this song because this song is just, it cuts through the bullshit. It cuts through, hey, you up at 4 o'clock in the morning. All of those weird texts and those back and forth of, tell me what your hopes and dreams are. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? It's like, I see myself balls deep into someone. That's where I see myself. I don't know who that person is, but that's what I see. Like, you don't want to say that because it just makes you sound like a slut. But what's wrong with being a slut? Sluts have fun. You want to be a nun? Nuns live a very, very different life. They get off in another way. I'm not trying to be a nun. I'm not trying to be a monk. But I live a life of a monk because I'm in this fucking neighborhood and none of the guys are cute. And the women are just, moms. And it's just like, I'm sorry, you've been stretched. I don't want to like, go where men have gone before. I mean, I'm looking for still tight and tight. And that's just not what's in this neighborhood. And that's okay to say. I mean, I don't mean to be so fucking slutty right before I do this song, but why not be honest about this? This is the issue that I have with Disney and Marvel right now. It's so clinical, it's so sanitized. And I know that Marvel is Deadpool and Wolverine, and that's just violence for violence. I mean, the closest they got to a sexy moment, I don't know. If you haven't seen this film already, I don't think I'm spoiling anything for you, was just the nipple clamps. That's it. The- It doesn't have to be a sexy movie. It doesn't have to, but it's so much easier for them to do violence than it is to do sex. When Netflix was in charge of Marvel properties, when FX was in charge of Marvel properties, you had a full show. You had everything. You had superhero action, you had violence, and yes, you had sex. It was tastefully done to respect the sanctity of the female actresses, but yet still, those female actresses were fucking horny. Their characters were horny. It showed on screen because that is real life. And there is nothing more beautiful and powerful than a woman who owns her sexuality without being fucking creepy about it, like Master Sergeant Miranda, who fucking sexually abused me. But if you are having sex with your consenting partner, good for you. I'm all for that. But Disney looks at situations like that and they're like, eh, we don't need to include that. Families might see that. I'm like, well, how do you think they formed a family? Like, if you could see someone, get decapitated in a Disney film on Marvel, Thanos, if you, it's not a spoiler. You probably saw that already, but you saw that with your kids. And it's like that's okay, but explaining that sex can lead to some stuff, that sometimes sex leads to bad boyfriends, things like that. Why not talk about that? Because Netflix talked about it. I mean, spoiler really. If you didn't see Jessica Jones, I'm a huge Jessica Jones fan. I am a huge Jessica Jones fan. I wear a leather jacket because Jessica Jones is so cool. I love that series. I love everybody in that series. Carrie-Anne Moss is in that series. You cannot ask for a better cast. David Tennant. David Tennant is in that series. And it couldn't have gone on forever. But now they're saying after so long, oh, could you come back? Could you come back? And it's you can tell I'm passionate about this. I'm supposed to be singing this song, but I have to do just a strictly Marvel podcast because I'm so opinionated about this and I have to keep repeating it because okay, a little departure, but it's a rehashing. But if you're in here, you're probably getting the same exact thing as I am. Captain America: Brave New World. I love Anthony Mackie. I love him. Who the fuck are these people? Who the fuck are these people? You and Harrison Ford were talking to each other. Who are the rest of these people? Because I could not wrap my head around anything. The little mini bosses were lame. The main boss was lame. I'm trying not to be hateful because I love the franchise and they were telling a good story, but it's a good story I would rather read in a comic book. Because I have to say, you can do that, but you have to do it better. You have to. And I need Anthony Mackie to have someone to talk to. Anthony Mackie had no one to talk to in this film, which is why the entire audience checked out. And he had one person to talk to. One person to talk to, and Marvel's like, nah, you don't get that either. And I am so angry because that character, I don't care if you had to invent a brand new superhero, but that character could have gone on an arc. I was following that character. I'm like, do you really need to fucking Game of Thrones a Marvel film? Really? Really, Marvel? You Game of Thrones my show. Because honestly, it's not a movie. It is the Falcon and the Winter Soldier season 2. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to just say, I mean, I'll watch anything that's in front of me if it has a Marvel logo that appears in the title sequence? No. I have to say no. And I don't even know. I love the Winter Soldier. I love Bucky Barnes because I love Sebastian Stan because he's Romanian. And he is so cute. And he is older now and like a seasoned daddy in all the right ways. But I don't know if I can even see Thunderbolts because once again, even from the previews, it's a bunch of characters that they have just scooped up and they didn't even. I'm pissed because I actually am a Marvel fan, so I know who the Thunderbolts are, and they're not these people. So who are these people? And I know Yelena, I know Ghost, I know Taskmaster, I know Red Scare. I know these people, but they're not the Thunderbolts that I wanted. I wanted the other Thunderbolts, which they will never get to because Captain America went that away. Like, Captain America was strictly, we're going to do movies, and the movies have to fit with it. You see, that's the issue, isn't it? That's the issue that I have. Before this massive change and pivot because of Jonathan Majors, and thank you so much to the LAPD for bringing that up because I wouldn't have even remembered his name because he got his paycheck for Ant-Man and he was out the door. Here's your hat, here's your coat, get the fuck out. Marvel doesn't play, and I can understand it to a certain degree, but I really don't care. I don't care if you fucking found a new person to play Kang. I wanted that throwdown. I wanted that throwdown because you had built it up through how many different Loki season 1, Loki season 2, and then the Ant-Man Quantumania, and now it's okay, well, we don't need to do that. We don't need to do that at all. I'm like, what? I'm sorry, what? Dial that back, Marvel. Dial that all the way back, because even as a fan, you can't just expect us to follow you to the ends of the earth, because right now there is nothing in the Marvel universe. Marvel universe is so bankrupt of characters and everything. And I'm saying this as a person who loves things like Daredevil. I love Wanda, Wanda Maximoff, and I love Wanda Maximoff. I even like the America Chavez girl, and just nothing. Just she's at Karamash, just working on her wax on, wax off, and just doing nothing. And the same thing with the Marvels. Oh, I'm gonna form my own Avengers. I'm like, okay, so are you gonna get on that? No, there's not even a Miss Marvel season 2. There's not even a Moon Knight season 2. Okay, welcome, Clint. Welcome, Clint. I agree with you. We are lacking in originality in a lot of our comic and story entertainment. We're more interested in developing the older characters than we are in creating new and exciting things. What do you say? I mean, I'm reading this and I'm saying this as like a potential Marvel executive. What do you say when you have tried to build like this universe and everything, and people age out, people decline projects, people want to do other things? What do you do? I mean, do you just pack it in and say, well, there's no money for this? Is Captain America Brave New World the worst Marvel film that they have released? No. It'll make money. And if I have my way, it will make more money because it will be required. But I mean, there are other ways for them to make up that money. But if they're just going to go this route of, okay, we're going to have 3 disparate movies right before Avengers, and then the television shows are trying their hardest to cut themselves off. I mean, I guess Daredevil's supposed to come out soon, but even then, it's going straight back into. So, are the Avengers ever going to talk about what's happening in Hell's Kitchen? I want my Marvel back. I'm a veteran who doesn't have my veteran benefits from my PTSD. I am of limited funds. I spent my money on a movie premiere, and I sat through a movie that I could have sat at home and enjoyed as a television series. And sometimes that's okay, because you have more time to develop, you have more time to let things sink and simmer and build. Marvel has to take it as movies have to be the climax and television shows have to be the build up and the tease because you need to build up and tease because right now I am getting a sloppy blowjob with no no tongue, like nothing. It's just a person bobbing their head up and down, and I'm supposed to feel something, and I don't feel anything because, like I said, who wrote this? You know what? I think that's a good question. Excellent question because nobody actually names names. I think Angry Joe did because he's just as rude as I am. I'm gonna look that up. I have a concussion from being attacked during a hate crime. I don't have the luxury to be a nice person to anyone or anything. So I'm gonna look up who the writers are. Rob Edwards, Malcolm Spellman, Dallin Mousson. I agree that this was a movie and a storyline they needed to have. I agree. But that should have been on a television screen. You don't shove something like that in a movie for America because Americans, they don't want to see that because they see that and they ignore it. I see that because I'm not fully American. I was born here and technically I'm 100% American, but I consider myself a global person because I'm a global person who saw that and said, that on the screen happens in real life. And I hate that people ignore that. That whole entire plot line was about things that happen in real life that are super dangerous. Countries at the brink of war. What do you think is happening, with our president? When our president fucking pisses off another country or is just rude to another country, that affects you. You sitting in your chairs, you sitting in a movie theater. But you don't get that. So I want to say that this is the worst writing ever, but I can't because if I say that, then I'm saying that talking about real issues is not important in art. You should always talk about real issues in art, which is why I'm going to have to say, Marvel, take the L. Take the L for this one. Take an L and come back stronger. This was Captain America 4. Fuck that. This is Captain America 1. 1. Because this is Anthony Mackie's first Captain America film. I don't want you to recast him. I want you to give him a cast to talk to. He had no one. No one. He couldn't talk to his little Falcon because that Falcon guy was so fucking annoying. Sabra, and I'll just spoil that for you. Sabra is a cool person, but a cool person I needed to just ease into. I needed to ease into that. I've talked ad nauseum about how Disney is just, well, here you go, accept that because that is, now canon. That's wonderful. It's wonderful that we're showing diversity. It's I'm all for diversity inclusion because I want transgender and two spirit people and everything to be in the Marvel universe because I always felt like Rogue was a transsexual. I always felt that way, or transgender. She fucking steals powers from people and she accepts their memories and she lives in two worlds because of what she took. I mean, look, if you didn't know that she kissed a boy and put him in a coma and then has his memories and all of his talents and everything inside of her. And then she did the same thing with Miss Marvel. I can't be that person who says that you can't cast for diversity. I want them to cast for diversity. I just want them to do it a little bit more skillfully. If this was a television show, if it was Captain America and later on, but here first is I I'm just gonna fucking say it. I'm gonna say it. What I wanted was The Falcon and the Winter Soldier season 2 and then Captain America Red Hulk. Two completely different projects. Not to say that you couldn't have had Harrison Ford in the series, you couldn't carry over some of the storylines, but they start off the film being a noir and then it jumps into Top Gun. The first of it is a mystery. It's a mystery. Follow the clues. Oh, what's happening here? There's danger. And then it turns into Top Gun. Nothing against Top Gun. Playing with the boys. Volleyball. Nothing wrong with Top Gun whatsoever. I don't know why so many people would join the Navy after playing with the boys volleyball. Slept on that. But that's not a movie. Oh, and by the way, that Red Hulk sequence, too short. Way too short. I want Red Hulk because for some reason Hulk is supposed to be the heart of an Avengers team and they just don't want that in Marvel anymore. They turn Marvel into something I don't recognize. I don't recognize this, and I want to. They need to plead with Anthony Mackie at the very least and say, no, we need you on the small screen and we need you on the small screen now. We need you to be in production for a television show now. So I'm going to do Marvel a huge favor and I'm going to look him up right now because I can't take this. You know, some people are fans. I'm more than that. I'm invested in Marvel. So congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. All right, here's the issue. He currently has Panopticon, he has Desert Warrior, he has Ending Things, he has Clybourne Park, he has Monsanto, he has 12-12-12, he has Signal Hill, He has The Studio, he has Sneaks, he has Twisted Metal, a television series, and then he has not one but two Avengers films. He's busy. He is really busy. He's a great actor. I wouldn't expect him to turn down jobs just because of one role. Just one role. And that's what it means when you decide to go the superhero route as an actor. You you close a lot of doors because the fans need you to be there. And when you're a big name actor and they cast big name actors into these roles, Black Widow is not some unknown girl from Oklahoma. She's Scarlett Johansson. She was Emily Blunt for like a hot second, and then they said, nah, nah, go do Gulliver's Travels. Go on. Have some Jack Black time. Well, Scarlett Johansson just takes the cake when it comes to that role. Her debut in Iron Man 2, you could not ask for a better. And that's how you introduce a character. You introduce a character that way. Sabra deserves more. Sabra deserves more because she is such a pivotal character in the Marvel Universe. People don't know her like I know her. I know that character. I wanted so much more, but it was just, here you go. Here's Sabra. Here's what she looks like. Here's how she interacts, and what she says, and here's her outfit, which, by the way, um, does her no favors. But then again, costuming just doesn't make sense, especially considering the role that she's in, where couldn't be, she couldn't, ah, it goes beyond the writing. It goes beyond the writing. It goes to the costumes. And who came up with the Falcon negative 2.0 that they stuck on that person? I'm gonna have to look up his name because I'm so rude. I like you. I think you're super cute and everything. I could not get into you for this role because Captain America Winter Soldier had slow build up. Every episode was a cliffhanger pretty much, and there were so many reveals in that, so many wow moments, and there was none of this, and I can't blame you. Aw, okay. So your actor name is Danny Ramirez, and your role is Joaquin Torres. I don't hate you. I don't hate you, dude. I think you are super sexy, and I like that you're super smart too. You're just really annoying in that role, and that role is been done already, and it makes sense. You see, that's the thing. It makes sense if you're a kid and you're acting that way. When Tom Holland was sucking up to Iron Man, that makes sense for what they did with that. You, on the other hand, I can't deal with that energy. I have no patience for it. I don't. I would rather you, I'd rather you have kind of your own path, kind of grow up, grow into. If you want to be the sidekick to Captain America, fine, be the sidekick to Captain America, but your captain needs you. you you don't get what that role is. You don't get what that role is because that's what the writing says. The writing says be a teenager, and you're not a teenager. I mean, I'm not a teenager either, but that was written for a teenager. Like a teenager's supposed to look at that and say, "Oh, I totally identify with that character that has a full beard and, has bags under their eyes and wrinkles and stuff like that. I totally identify with that character." Not that you really have that as I stare at your lovely red carpet look. Dude, you're fucking gorgeous. I'm not trying to rag on you because look, you're going to be in the MCU one way or the other, so I can't deal with that energy. I I can't. What do you think about the DC movies they've been coming out with? I'll be honest with you. I have been so Team Marvel and blindsided by that I skipped a lot of things. Like I saw the first Superman, I liked it. I like that Superman of the Henry Cavill. I know that they did Supermans before, but I've always liked Superman. I mean, I even like the Supergirl movie from the 1980s with Christy Swanson. I like it. I'm a huge Superman, like the whole mythos, everything. I like Smallville. I like Batman's. I like everything. I like DC. DC hasn't really done wrong with Batman. Even the super campy Batman and Robins with the nipples on the costumes, whatever. Mr. Freeze as Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm for it. I'm for all of it. I'm just kind of confused. I couldn't get into Blue Beetle. I got to like halfway and then I said, I've seen enough, which is terrible. And then The Flash came out and I don't care. I know people have issues with Ezra Miller. I like him. I just do. He is nice to look at and he was a good Flash twice. And that dynamic between the Flash and the CGI of the Flash and the Flash, I'm for it. I thought that was cool. I thought Supergirl as Supergirl like that was kind of cool. I just, I wish they could do more. And I was kind of getting into Titans, but I kind of fell out of Titans too. Just at the same exact time that Superboy got introduced, I just said, I can't go further. I have a problem with superhero shows and superhero franchises because you can tell that writers change, visions change, a lot of it changed. And why is Emma Stone on my screen right now? I'm not going to see you until like much, much later. Sorry. Spoilers there. I got into the new Swamp Thing series they put out, which is DC and is incredible, but they stopped it after season 1, and I'm so upset. I'm just not sure either Studio Marvel or DC knows what they're doing anymore. And I know that Blue Beetle was super successful and they're not doing terribly. It's not the same as Christopher Nolan's Batman. I don't even think Marvel competes with Christopher Nolan's Batman. There's Christopher Nolan's Batman, and then somewhere like way below that is the Infinity War saga. And I know that as a Marvel fanboy, I really shouldn't say that, but you're not going to say that. The writing, the acting, or the sound from Batman. There's a reason why, they win awards for things like that. It's that good. Robert Pattinson as Batman. Interesting. I'm supposed to see it, but always, fighting and trying to defend myself from hate crimes. So I don't get to be a movie buff like I'm supposed to. And I really should be reviewing this stuff and having like full episodes for people. You think I should do that? Like I'm super critical of this whole thing. And I'm super rude because these people are trying their hardest. But I have to be honest. I have to. Because I want my team to win. I hate teams, but I'm on this team and I want it to win because the other team is never going to give me the characters I want. I want other characters besides the ones that they have. I want, some people are talking about Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. I'm talking about Power Girl. And not just that costume. I'm talking about the Supergirl that I know. The Supergirl I know, that's what I want. I don't even know the script for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. I have to look at the trailer. I really do. But I'm looking to see the storyline that I read. If they had any guts, they would have touched that in a movie. That whole dynamic, and they could have spanned that for like at least 3 films. And I don't know. I have to do an adaptation and just submit it to DC and say, you know what? Here you go, because that is what I want to see. I want to see that. I want to see other character stories. I mean, there are so many stories that DC and Marvel just sit on and they just say, well, we could do that, or we could just do this again and with new people. And people will be okay with that, and it'll all be part of the canon. And people will have movie marathons, and it's just there are good stories. Do the good stories. That's all. That's all people want. And now Emma Stone is in full screen. What is going on here? That is so weird. I don't know why she came up in this middle of my tirade about not the downfall of Marvel, but Marvel has to expand, and Marvel is going to have to fill in some blanks, a lot of blanks, because let me go back and look at the timeline. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. So I think I was able to get the timeline by going straight to Anthony Mackie's. He's won awards. Like I'm not trying to like say that he's a bad actor or anyone's a bad actor in this, because everyone's a phenomenal actor. But Captain America needs to talk to someone, and it's not this plucky sidekick who acts like a teenager. He needs to talk to someone, and I don't know why he isn't talking to that person right now. Because if he was talking to that person, it would have made for a better film if they could get that person on camera. But you know, it's really really difficult. All right, so the timeline is Doomsday is 2026 and Secret Wars is 2027. It's 2025 now. Hollywood has always had an issue with originality. because it is cheaper to reboot a franchise, reboot old books, old, whatever, than say, we're starting something completely fresh. I appreciate things like Vagrant Girl. I appreciate things like Lost Girl. I appreciate Firefly. I appreciate things where, it's not just derivative drivel. Not that Marvel is that derivative. It needs integration. It needs more. I know Disney bought Marvel, but Marvel needs a dedicated channel. Marvel needs a dedicated channel. Even within, you see, you can't ask the new step parents to break up with one another. As much as I would like to, as much as I would like to just say, could you file for separation so I don't see the fight to just appease everyone, devour my favorite stories and my favorite characters. But I can't ask for that. So instead, I'm just gonna say I'm gonna need Disney and Marvel to fuck and to produce as many different IPs as possible because I need something to fill. I need something to fill because I love everybody in Thunderbolts. I'm not gonna go see it now. I can. I love David Harbour. I love Yelena. I love Sebastian Stan. I love everybody. Julia Louis Dreyfus is fantastic, brilliant, brilliant character, and that's what I'm talking about. They have amazing characters, but they kind of save them for little things, and I don't know. What am I supposed to say? They're redoing Thunderbolts. They kind of have to. Like after Captain America: Brave New World, they have to reach into post production and say, no, please go back, fix things, please add things because we need things to start tying up. Because think about it, they're going from Captain America: Brave New World to Thunderbolts, and then I think it's Fantastic Four afterwards. But even so, Fantastic Four is set in another universe in another decade. So what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? I need There's a hole right now in Marvel for me. There's a hole, not not for me personally. There's a hole right now, and it has to be filled with something. And watching that film, I said, they're missing something. They're missing someone, something. Where is that thing that they're missing? Because if it's not in the film, then I have to go to the television shows, but the television shows don't have it either. So until they add that in, what do I do? Like I don't know what to do in these kind of situations because look, I paid good money for it. Oh, Clint, I don't mean to bore you about this. Thank you so much for coming into the chat. I appreciate you coming in. You're adding some much needed balance and everything to my tirade of why scripts matter, why acting has to be somewhat believable. There has to be tension between characters, and there was no tension. It was so rushed. Sabra Sabra's turnover into I'm super uptight and straight laced and I let my hair down and like I'm so like totally cool. Like, are those guys shooting at us? Okay, like let's get in the car, dude. Like who is this character? Who the fuck is this character? Because I was kind of into like Sabra being Sabra, but now you're serving me like Pantene Pro V, and I don't understand why. I don't understand what is going on with Marvel right now. I can't take it. I can't. I can't. This this hurts. This hurts. I sat in a movie theater and I'll say it again. That Sidewinder character, kudos that they didn't do the Marvel comic costume. If they had done that, if they had done that, I would have just been like, I'm checking out. I'm checking out. Okay, okay. Put the stage lights on. Look, I gotta make it to the exit. I can't do it. But instead, they had him as regular dude, and he wasn't scary. He wasn't scary at all. Wasn't The sequence wasn't scary, and there was no tension, and I couldn't get into it. There's something missing at Marvel. There's something missing. And I don't know who writes this ship. Who writes this ship? Because everyone would say that the world revolves around Captain America. Avengers revolves around Captain America. You have an Avengers film coming out. And Captain America is. So, I will look forward to what they come up with. They have to come up with something. They can't just leave it as is. So, what do they want to do? I can't believe I'm not going to go see Thunderbolts. I might see Fantastic Four, but I don't know if I'm going to see Thunderbolts. What has happened to me that I don't want to see a Marvel film? That's unheard of. There's something wrong with the universe. There's something wrong with the universe if I don't want to see a Marvel film. But they they don't have anything anymore. There are just so many holes right now. Iron Man's gone. The Hulk is doing something somewhere, whatever that's gonna turn into. Wanda's gone. Vision's gone. I mean, you could make a new team, but a new team from who? Like, who looks at this film and said, "Oh yeah, that's the replacement for Black Widow, Sabra. That particular person is going to replace." And here again, it's Disney and Marvel saying, well, here you go. Please accept this. Accept, accept. Because, that's just what they do. And I want more. And I think what I want is I want X-Men. I I want mutants. I want Inhumans. I want Eternals. I want Celestials. I want big budget CGI films of people with fantastic powers and complications and all of that. I also want my noir films and television series. There's a space for that. I like watching things like Echo. But even so, isn't Echo a hero too? Everything just devolves into me giving critical analysis of the state of MCU. But don't you feel anything about what's been going on? I mean, X-Men 97 is one thing. But even X-Men 97, I don't know what they're gonna do. I'm hoping for a really good season two because I met the voice actors and I met Jubilee, and Jubilee was super nice. They all were, but Jubilee was super nice to me. So, of course, now I really have to. How would you change it? How would you fix this? I mean, I'm a writer, so I guess I would have to fill in those blanks that were missing. But that's just me. Looking back at this film, it's going to be one of those films that is culturally relevant and groundbreaking. And I don't want to minimize what they have created here. And I want there to be a discussion fully about what you see on that screen when you look at that film, because we, as a culture, we never talk about it. We never talk about it. And I spoil everything about the film, but I leave that because that is a major plot line, number one. And two, it's something that I want you to be interested in. I want you to want to care about the issues that they bring up. I appreciate the film, I just don't like it. I don't have to like it. It doesn't have to be wrapped up in a pretty bow. But I think cinema can always do better. I think cinema has a responsibility to take the most boring and banal of topics and turn them into fascinating pieces of art that are so culturally resonant that you see real change in society. There was a way to convey this storyline that they shoved on that larger screen, and it's called a smaller screen. And that's very, very hard to do when you have a big movie that you want to try and rush, and actors have other commitments. Harrison Ford is doing a show at the same exact time. You know, everybody's doing separate projects, and it's literally, how much time do you have to devote to this one project? But don't you feel a responsibility as actors to not just wear the costume and say the lines, but deliver a cohesive story that makes more sense? I almost think that they should have just split the movie in two, at the very least. Put two movies out. If they got up to everything but the Red Hulk and then just said, to be continued, I would have been okay with that. I know that the Avengers films, both of them are supposed to come up back to back. That's just not happening. I'm gonna need Marvel to delay productions. Just really delay and build, because they need to build Fantastic Four. I mean, look, Thunderbolts is going to be difficult to begin with. If the writing is really good, and I expect so many good things from Contessa and Yelena and Red Scare and the Winter Soldier, they're all going to be phenomenal. The jokes, the quips, the banter, the energy between all of them is going to be amazing. But that is one side of a film. I'm a Marvel fan. I don't know this villain. I don't know this villain. I don't know how this villain fits into anything. And I almost want to say, if you want to go that route, you should have chosen a different villain. A villain that was more familiar, a villain that was something you could build off of. Because I'll tell you this, win or lose, if the Thunderbolts defeat this guy, who cares? And I hate that. If you throw a villain on the screen and after the big fight scene, you still say, I really don't care, that's a problem. There's a reason why Charles Xavier and Magneto were always fighting each other. It's because there were two sides of the same argument. The argument that we should be having in society of, there are mutants among us, and mutants need protection, sometimes from other mutants, but also from humans who don't understand what it means to be a mutant. I'm a mutant. So the fact that mutants are being pulled out of Marvel is just... If you live in LA and you've seen me about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't live in LA, well, I guess you're missing out. Fantastic Four. I was speaking to this police officer, and he was trying to get me hyped up for it, and he's like, Galacticas. It depends on how they do it. It depends on how dark Marvel is willing to go. Because if they give me a bunch of clouds and lightning and thunder and there's no skin in the game, I don't know if I could see that film either. If we don't have the equivalent of a snap in that film, I don't know if I can watch it. Fantastic Four is super critical to where I would like Marvel to go. So I have to support it because I need Marvel to include the Fantastic Four in this so I can get to where I need to get to within a reasonable amount of time, because I'm a little sick and tired of Avengers films and not having any of the major things that are going on. Because there are so many other things that are going on in Marvel Comics that had nothing to do with the Avengers. Like huge world-changing things that I need to see. I need to see that on a beautiful large screen. Which means I need lots and lots of television shows because I need exposition to move that storyline. So Fantastic Four has to be amazing. That cast, good luck to you. But I'm gonna need you to be amazing because you are integral to where I want to see Marvel go. Because that is something that will save Marvel. I don't even care what you did with Captain America Brave New World. If you can deliver this for me, if you can deliver where I want this to go, I'm willing to forgive that and Thunderbolts, whatever Thunderbolt ends up being. If you give me a decent Fantastic Four that I could build off of, even in my imagination, if I could build off that. Because right now, they want to introduce the X-Men at some point. Some point. I don't want to see that. I have no interest. I have no interest if they're not going to deliver this. If they refuse to deliver this, I am checked out. I am checked out. I will just say it on this podcast. I'm just gonna boycott until I get assurance that I'm getting this storyline. If I'm not getting this storyline, I'm not gonna say anything else. And I want to see the Defenders, and I might stick to the Hell's Kitchen mini cosmos of Marvel, but no, I'm not even interested in Doctor Doom. I want this storyline, and I know that you need all of this in order to set that up, but if I don't get this storyline, I'm out. I'm out, which means they need to start casting for that now, and they need to announce the casting of that now, because if they don't announce the casting of it, at the very least, which is kind of a spoiler, but I need a tease. I need a tease of major things are going to shake up the Marvel Universe. Major things. And in fact, scrap the entire script for Avengers Doomsday. If this isn't the plotline for Avengers Doomsday, I'm out. I'm out. I want this plotline to be Avengers Doomsday. Which means I need like a film and a bunch of things before that. But no, that's what I want. And besides, the title fits, so why not still call it that? Why not still have Doom in it? But I'm not interested in Captain America and the annoying version of Falcon and Sabra and whoever they can slap together fight Doctor Doom. That I'm not interested in. Sorry, I love Robert Downey Jr. I'm looking forward to him being a villain. I'm looking forward to just this changeover that's going to happen and the disconnect because you just your brain will not be able to handle this because you'll say you look so familiar. Like you look like all of that. I don't care. I need this storyline that I want Marvel to do. And if Marvel isn't going to do that, then I can't put up with I can't put up with that. I can't put up with the Scrolls, Secret War, any of that. Cuz that's all the way in like 2027 and I don't know about you, but I love superhero films, but at a certain point, I can't be following around CGI people. I've got to do something else with my life. But for the time being, let me have this fantasy, but let me have it in a way that makes sense. Do this storyline and recapture everybody. Do this storyline and bring everybody back to Marvel running to the theaters. Do this storyline for me, Marvel. And you know which one it is, and I don't even have to say it, because you already know what it is. But in order to do that, I need you to fucking bulldoze anything else you want to do and set this up properly so we can have all the people there. That's what I need from the studio. And if they're not going to do that, then guess what? You have plenty of other people who will watch your stuff. I'm just not going to watch it because I need to see this. It's not I want it, I need it. It's what I want. And I have to have it. I just have to. So I'm going to leave it there. I know I was going to do a song. I was going to, but then I started talking about Marvel again. Oh, I really should just have a Marvel dedicated podcast so I don't even have to worry about, checking music levels and worried about singing along. I'm going to try and sing along like right after this. So I'm going to try. So I'm going to end this one and then I'm going to try and open another one because good grief, I am so opinionated about this. Why am I so invested? Other people, they just say, well, go see another film. But how can I? How can I? For I be so impoverished, and Anthony Mackie is so nice. And I've loved him since She Hate Me. Like, he's a phenomenal actor. And I just feel like he was robbed, absolutely robbed. Because he didn't have this character to talk to. I don't even know how that character was going to talk to, but he should have talked to the Falcon like this character, and this should have just there's a hole in the damn movie. Did anybody else notice this? There's a hole in this movie. I hope they fill it. I hope they fill it because at least that might make it more interesting, and that itself could be a filler because as I looked in his IMDb page, dude is booked. He is booked. I mean, true, he has that outstanding contract with Marvel, but dude is booked. So, like, he can do one cameo and then that person has to just like spawn a mini universe in itself. What am I really gonna this is so unfair. Why do I have to do this? I'm literally doing matchmaking right now to see what I can do to save the Marvel universe. 1 second. I don't even spell your name correctly. This is terrible. All right. Oh, never mind. Never mind. That is all. This has been I Hate LA, Love Me Anyway. I am your host, Ian Iliana, and I will see you on the next podcast because I really wanted to sing today. So I'll just open a new one. See you.